the things I think is very cool is you can see electrical transmission lines. If you zoom in, you can see more detail, and now you can click on, now you can see electrical substations too. Hi, and welcome back to another installment of Cool Maps, where... Did you say maps? Yes, I did say maps. Wow, I love maps. That's good. It's good. Give me food. No. I don't have any food. No. So the first map that we're going to talk about is on randymajors.org, which is a pretty interesting site. I mean, I typically use it to look at Google Maps with county lines, but one of the things that's very interesting on it is this right here. This is a slope map. Now, as you can see, we're starting off with topographic maps again. But this is very interesting. It's kind of like a topographic map, but instead of showing you the absolute elevation, what it does instead it tells you how quickly the elevation changes. So, I mean, a regular topographic map does that too, but this just kind of makes it stand out more. So I think that's very interesting. And there's a couple of interesting things that you can find out from this map. You can look at, it's like, what mountain range in the Appalachian Mountains is the most rugged, you know? Where's a super steep cliff or whatever. I feel like this is better used at a smaller scale in a way. One thing that I think, you know, this thing can work very well with the topographic map and the mountain prominence map, every mountain in the world, that I showed you in Cool Maps 1. So, I mean, it works together with all those maps, and if you use all of them together, you can pretty much figure out what the topography of any area looks like. Of course, I mean, this map only works for the US, but it's a very cool map. So next we have a website known as HeyWhatsThat.com. Now you may have seen this website when it was mentioned on Vsauce, but I kind of want to give like kind of a tutorial of how it works and also reveal a counterintuitive fact that I learned from it. What's that on my head? So you can use this site to see the view off of any mountain that you choose. So let's head down to Mount Mitchell. See, Mount Mitchell comes up right there. No, okay, that's not correct. Alright, so I need to search for... See, this site isn't very user-friendly, but it's still cool. Yeah, let's go to all panoramas. So you could just click on Mount Mitchell and then press view. There you go. Alright. See, it's not that hard. So, if you zoom out, you can see... This is everything that you can see from Mount Mitchell, and it works the other way, too. So that's all the places that you can see Mount Mitchell from. So all this area down here, I mean, again, Mount Mitchell's the tallest peak in the Appalachian Mountains, and I've been there, so I know what the view looks like. It's very impressive. But that's what you can see. And also, if you click on horizon, this shows you like where the horizon is at. So if you're looking at as far as you can possibly see, what spots are you looking at? Like, you could see as far south as a few hills in South Carolina right there, and you can see as far north as Virginia's border with Kentucky. So you can see in fact, you can see into Kentucky a bit. So that's very cool. And I mean, look, I mean, it covers a very large area, and again, I mean, it's the tallest peak in the Appalachian Mountains, so of course it's going to be tall. But that's not all. There's a place near Chattanooga, Tennessee, known as Rock City Garden. It's actually in Georgia. Like, there's a outlook there, and there's a claim written there that says you can see 7 states from there. So here it is right there. So yeah, see 7 states sign and Rock City Gardens. Let's see if you can actually see 7 states. Now, I mean, when I was there, I completely doubted it. I mean, here it is in Georgia. So you could see Georgia. You could obviously see Tennessee. So I assumed you could probably see Alabama and probably North Carolina. But the other states that they claimed were Kentucky, Virginia, and South Carolina, which I completely doubted. Let's see what you can actually see from there. Go out. Yeah. 3. You can see 3 states from there. Yeah, so you can't even see Alabama. So, yeah, you definitely can't see South Carolina, Kentucky, or Virginia. Yeah, it doesn't even get close to Virginia or South Carolina, but you actually can't see Alabama from there either. You get pretty close, but yeah, you can't see it. So But yeah, you can see North Carolina, and obviously you can see Kentucky. Oh, never mind. Georgia and Tennessee. I mean, yeah, Rock City Gardens is a pretty cool place, but that C7 states, that's a complete lie. Sorry. Moving on. Next, we have a map that only works in the US, but it is very cool. This is the EIA map. EIA standing for Energy Information Administration, I think. Yes, it does. Wow, cool. So, what this map is showing is it shows all these sources of electrical power in the US, or at least approximates them, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. And I think probably one of the coolest things about this map is that, there's a lot of things that you can, look at with this map. Just take that all in. One of the things I think is very cool is you can see electrical transmission lines. Now, I'm very into electricity, but I'm also very into maps. So when I see a map with electrical transmission wires on it, I have a stroke, an excitement stroke. I don't know what I'm saying. Forget that. I'm happy. Now, if you zoom in, you can see more detail, and now you can see electrical substations too. And I'm zoomed into Northeast Ohio right now because that's where I live. But you could see which substation is closest to your house, and probably which one is closest to your house is going to be the one that serves you. But I just think it's so cool how you can see the transmission lines running. You can see there's a coal plant right there along the Ohio River. First Energy, it's a coal-fired power plant that uses the river to cool itself pretty much. And then also another source of power around here. And again, you can see I just really cool how it all connects. Kind of like a road network, but it's a road for electrons or electrical energy because it's alternating current. The electrons don't really go anywhere. And you can see different kinds of power plants too. There's the Davis-Besse, I believe that's how it's called, and then there's the Perry power plant, and it's all connected, and it's very cool because again, the Eastern United States and Canada, it's all connected under one grid. You can't see Canada on here, but every single one of these plants, no matter how close or how far away from you it is, all of those plants are contributing energy that comes through your walls and gives you electrical energy. And also you can just kind of see it's where's a windy spot? Oh, look at all those wind turbines up there in the Allegheny Mountains. Look at that. So it must be windy there. Wow. So, EIA.gov. In fact, at this point, it's the only official government website that's been on cool maps. So, fun. Alright, so our last two maps both have to do with precipitation. So the first map we're going to look at is from NASA. And it's a very interesting map as it shows for every single month since January of 1998 the rainfall totals across the entire world and also over the ocean. I think that's what makes this map stand out above all others. Look at this. You can scroll across to there. Look at that. Wow. It's magic. I think one of the interesting things that this map shows is, see this blue line running right across the equator? That's the intertropical convergence zone. There you go. All right. So that's where the Earth's oceans are hottest. So the sunlight hits that most intensely. It evaporates more and it goes up, creates an updraft, condenses, rains down, and so there's more precipitation there. And I also like how this, as we scroll back and forth, we can really clearly see the mountain ranges of the world. So we have the Sierra Nevada mountains right there, Andes mountains, Himalayas, and overall it's a very cool map showing the bigger picture of weather, I would say. You could see how cold water coming in from the south makes the west coasts of continents drier. It's really cool just how it's even though climate across the world seems really chaotic, it's all just kind of, it all fits together pretty much. Because the cold ocean current makes it harder for water to evaporate, so it's drier. And this map ties in, nicely with the next map because they're both precipitation maps. And this is one, it's not interactive, but I found it on Reddit and it is very cool. This question, so it says, does it rain, does it pour? Does an area just get a few heavy storms or does it pour all the time? So what this map is asking is, does a place usually get light rainfall or heavy rainfall, and how much of each does it get? So that brings me to a tale of two cities. Why not? Let's talk about this. So, Kansas City, Missouri, and Seattle, Washington. So, which place do you think gets more rainfall in a year? So, you would probably say, okay, that's obvious, Seattle, Washington. Seattle is, near the coast, and Kansas City is right in the middle of the country. And again, Kansas City's, in the Great Plains region, so, yeah, obviously it's drier. So, okay, so first off, you would be right, but let's just look at this. So, Kansas City gets 39.30 inches per year, 998 millimeters. Seattle gets 39.34 inches of rain, 999 millimeters, so barely more. See, that's the interesting thing. So, even though Seattle is typically thought of as a very wet city, Pacific Northwest is thought of as very wet, and there are places in the Pacific Northwest which receive a lot of rain. For instance, Olympic National Park, which is to the west of Seattle, gets over 100 inches of rain in certain parts. The reason that this is because, now look at the rainy days part of this. So if you look at average precipitation days with more than 0.01 inches of rain per year, Kansas City gets about 104 days like this, but Seattle gets 156 days. So it rains a lot more days in Seattle compared to Kansas City, but since it only really drizzles there compared to Kansas City, they're in Tornado Alley, so they get a lot of convective thunderstorms with warm moist air from the Gulf of Mexico pushing north, but then that meets a cold front coming in from the northern Great Plains that pushes the warm air up. It creates an unstable atmosphere, and then it creates tall cumulonimbus clouds, and then it rains down as heavy precipitation. But Seattle doesn't really deal with that because they aren't near a warm ocean current. Again, the water is coronavirus cold there. So that's why that is. And you can really see with this map, I think this map is really cool. First off, it works, as a precipitation map. You could see the intertropical convergence zone along here. You can really see just across the globe just how, is it a big risk, that you're going to get a big storm somewhere? See, the Sahel, which is south of the Sahara, has an intense rainy season but is otherwise dry. So they get convective storms, but other than that, they get pretty much nothing. Oh, and then there's the places. The U.S. Southeast gets frequent heavy rain, so rain drizzles and pours. So they get, a lot of rain both ways, and this is the wettest part of the country. And then obviously you have the deserts where, they don't get anything. Again, I like how this shows out over the ocean, too. There's a couple weird things about it, too. There's, these weird splotches right here, which I don't really know why they're there. But either way, this is a really cool map. Again, it just goes to show just how, weather, it's obviously very random, but over a long period of time, it is kind of, predictable because there's certain geographic features that make it that way. And thus ends the great ceremony of the second Cool Maps. So, thank you very much for watching. It means a lot to me that you decided to click on my video and watch me act like an absolute fool, and there are people outside. Yeah, either way, thank you very much for watching. What the heck was I even gonna say? Thank you for watching. What's the next line? What the heck? I think I just had a stroke. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and remember to never stop learning, and I'm going to go visit a mental asylum.